Welcome everyone. We'll talk about international marketing in today's videos, the nature thereof. So the challenges and opportunities. First, the process of international marketing. These are my challenges. And probably if we can convert these challenges into opportunities, nothing like it. International dimensions of marketing. Domestic marketing versus international marketing. Multinational corporation. The pros, the cons. Multinational nationality and market performances, the characteristics of multinational companies, the process of internationalizations, the benefits of international marketing is what we'll talk about it. Let us proceed with the definitions. Management process responsibly identifying and probably anticipating satisfying customer requirement profitably. That is what marketing definitions to be involved around it. Identifying, anticipating, and satisfying the customer requirement, and that too with profit is what marketing is all about it. So it focuses on the needs and wants of the customers, identify the best method of satisfying those needs and wants, orienting the company towards the process of providing satisfaction, meeting organizational objectives thereof. So, definition of international marketing: multinational process of planning and executing the conception, pricing, promotion, and distribution of ideas, goods, and services to create exchanges that satisfies individual and organizational objective. That is what multinational processes of planning is all about. The example of international marketing would be where an English company would like to enter Chinese market. Remember, English company entering the Far East nations market, Chinese market in this case. It will be done either developing the marketing strategy in their home country, that English country, that will be introduced in a new market, the Chinese country, or they will hire a company to create such a plan, probably get a consultant or get a company in the China all together. Within the international marketing process, the key element of framework still applies. So let's understand the dimensions of marketing. It's consumer marketing vis-a-vis business to business marketing, domestic marketing vis-a-vis the foreign marketing, the comparative marketing, the international marketing vis-a-vis the global multinational marketing, the domestic marketing versus the international marketing, which are similar in nature but are not in scope. Probably the number of audiences, the number of target audiences, target market is much smaller, much shrinker, or huge. The other way around, different in degree but not in kind. Probably they might be very huge in number, but their pockets might not be very deep. So you need to understand the degree. Domestic versus foreign marketing. Domestic marketing is concerned with the marketing practices within the researchers or marketing home country. What are we looking into it? From the perspective of domestic marketing, marketing methods used outside the home market are foreign marketing, which we need to understand. Now, let me give you a comparative marketing. A study becomes comparative marketing when its purpose is to contrast two different marketing systems rather than examining a country's marketing system for its own sake. Why two different marketing systems? Please understand, in certain market, it might be highly regulated by a federal government, right? It can be a protected market. It might be you will not be able to invest into the market, do away with your marketing activities, make sale, but to partake the profit, to take the profit out of the country, there are strict regulations to around it. What I want to say, so you make an investment, you make profit, but to take that 100% of the profit, they will put in a lot of taxes outbound. So what happens is, instead of taking the profit outside, it makes sense to reinvest the profit and get more profit, make more profit in that domestic market in different country altogether. So you need to understand contrast to a different marketing system altogether. International marketing is a marketing done at a different international level. It can be a different continent level. The international marketing is based on strategy created in the home country of the company and is distributed to its other offices, affiliation. International marketing is very similar to the global marketing. The main difference will be the fact that the global marketing is focused on intercontinental point of views per se. A corporation that has facilities and other assets in the company altogether, why do we look into it? Such companies have offices or factories in different countries and usually have a centralized head office where they coordinate the global management. Very large multinationals have budget that exceeds those of small countries thereby. So what are we talking about in terms of multinational corporations? The cons, the disadvantages are exploitations, probably yes, erosions of national sovereignty, why it might be putting them at a risk. Their secrets, the trade secret, the functioning might get exposed altogether because the presence of the multinational company will come to know about the laws, the loopholes out there about their functioning. So the national sovereignty becomes a big questionable affair. What are the advantages? Power, prestige, social responsibility, market performances. You have the best of the product, best of the services being delivered, sense of affluent living that comes around it. So it makes sense for the MNCs to come and be present in your country. Characteristics of multinational company. By size, definition by size, the term multinational implied bigness. Multinational, it's a bigness, but bigness also come with the dimensions. So we are talking about market value, we are talking about sales, we are talking about profit, assets, number of employees. These are all big, be it market value, sales, profit, asset, number of employees. Let me give you a definitions by sizes. The global leader based on market value, sales and profit. We're talking about the General Electric, the Walmart, the Citigroups, the Microsoft, ExxonMobil, General Electric. See, by market value, things are changed. By sales, things are different. By profit, things are different altogether. And they are what global leaders are based upon it, based on market value, based on sales, and based on profits. Let me give you a global leader based on the composite ranking altogether and how does it comes around. So as a composite ranking, the Citigroup, the General Electric comes way number one, number two, and not probably the Microsoft, not probably British Petroleum, and so on and so forth. Let me give you the world top non-financial TNCs or transnational companies ranked by foreign assets in cases of Vodafone, General Electric, ExxonMobil, Vivendi, Universal. Now I've just adopted it and presented it as being there. So characteristics of multinational companies, definition by structure, as in the number of countries it is present in, the company operates, citizens of the corporate owners and the top managers, probably top key people would be owned, belongs to different nationality altogether, and different nationality, if I may add up to. So definition by structures, according to Arohani, MNC has at least three significant dimensions: structural, performance, and behavioral. Structural requirement for definition is multinational companies include the number of countries in which the firm does business and the citizens ship of a corporate owners and the top managers. Pfizer stating that it is truly a global company, does business in more than 150 countries. City Corp satisfies the requirement of the multinationalism through the ownership of members of its own top management. The company has done as much as other major multinational companies to diversify its management thereby. So what are we looking as far as the characteristics by performance? Commitment by the corporate resources of the foreign operation, amount of reward of that commitment. Definition by performances. Let us understand characteristics as in foreign exchange, as in sales and assets. These performance characteristics indicate the extent of commitment by the corporate resources in the foreign land, in the foreign operation, the amount of rewards from the commitment. The greater the commitment, the greater the reward, the greater the degree of internationalization. British and Japanese firms have routinely shown willingness to commit corporate resources in overseas companies. Let me give it as the characteristics of multinational in terms of behavior. We are talking about ethnocentric, polycentric, and geocentric. What is ethnocentric? Depending of particular ethnic background, people have been hired for. Ethnocentric and ethnocentricity. Geocentric, if not for geocentricity, if not for ethnic background, at least people within the vicinity of that country that the company has been located within this places, locations, geographical location is geocentricity. But what about polycentricity? Yes, here Merit counts wherever good people are found, irrespective of region, irrespective of ethnicity, irrespective of any kind of discrimination. The best people will be worked around it and they will be manning the show. So, definition by behavior. Behavior is somewhat more abstract. As a measure of multinationalism, that either structures or performances through it is no less important. This requirement concerns the behavior characteristics of top management. Thus, a company becomes more multinational as its management thinks. More international, such thinking, known as geocentricity, must be distinguished from other attitudes or orientation known as ethnocentricity or polycentricity. Behavior, ethnocentricity, orientations towards home country, centralizations of the decisions making, efficient but not effective. Why we talk about ethnocentricity? Ethnocentricity is a strong orientation towards the home country, markets, consumer, abroad views as unfamiliar or even inferior in taste, sophistication, and opportunity. The usual practice is to use the home base for production of standardized products for exports in order to gain some marginal business. Centralization of decision making is thus necessity. Behavior and attitude, polycentricity, strong orientation to the host country. Decentralizations of decision making, effective but not efficient. Why polycentricity? The opposite of ethnocentricity. Is a strong orientation towards the host country. The attitude places emphasis on difference between markets that are caused by variations within, such as income, culture, laws, and politics. The assumption is that each market is unique and consequently difficult for outsider to understand or comprehend. Thus, managers from the host countries should be employed and allowed to have a great deal of discretion at managerial decision. The geocentricity, behavior, and attitude, it's a world orientation, centralization, decentralization, and coordination all mixed together. It's efficient, it's effective. Geocentricity is compromised within to ethnicity and polycentricity. It could be argued that the attitude is most important of the three. Geocentricity is an orientation that considers the whole world rather than a particular country as a target market, such as international or a foreign department. Or the markets do not exist because the company does not designate anything international or foreign about the market. Corporate resources are allocated without regards to national frontiers, and there is no hesitation in making direct investment abroad when warranted. Let me give you the process of internationalizations. Many companies have begun domestic firms concentric on their own domestic market before shifting, or should I say, before expanding the focus to also cover international market as they become more international. They are supposed to move from being sporadic exporters to being frequent exporters before finally doing manufacturing abroad. It is thus used to investigate the stages of internationalization. One study found that evidences to support the hypothesis that are four identifiable stages in a firm's internationalization. The four stages are non-exporter, then exporter in tender, then sporadic exporter, and then regular exporter, regular basis. So starting from non-exporter, then exporting in tenders altogether, and then sporadic exporters to actual regular exporter. The process of internationalization based on this review of a number of international models that specify various stages of internationalizations. Anderson has proposed his U model, which perceived or probably received mixed responses as far as empirical support is concerned. According to his the model, there are four stages. There are no regular activities. There are export via independent representative. There are establishment on overseas, and the fourth one is overseas production, overseas manufacturing. The development is supposed to take place initially within the specific country before being repeated elsewhere. Several Silicon Valley's companies do not see the need to have a business model first for the US market before going overseas. Instead, their mission is to go global almost from the beginning. As such, from the beginning, they are employing engineers in India, manufacturing in Taiwan, selling in Europe. At present, there is no conclusive evidence to show that the domestic firms have generally indeed progressed from one stage to another, as prescribed on their way to become more international oriented. So, benefits of international marketing first and foremost is survival and growth. When you are present in different markets, probably your chances of survival becomes much more higher. Why? Because of diversification. Why? Because sales and profits are coming from different corners of the world. Why? Because of inflation and price moderation, and one country may not affect the other country. Employment, standard of living, understanding of market processes improves over a period of time. Survival of growth. For companies to survive, they need to grow, because most countries are not as fortunate as USA in terms of market size, resources, opportunities. They must trade with others to survive. Since most European nations are relatively smaller in size, they need foreign markets to achieve economies of scale so as to compete with the firms altogether. And that is what we should be looking around it. A study of five medical sectors industries that the international expansion was necessary for the firms to enter a domestic market thereby. We will talk about survival. We will talk about the firms that are only have a substantial market share and international experience can only expand successfully. Moreover, firms that retrench after an international expansion actually vanishes. Even American marketers cannot ignore the vast potential of international market. The world market is far more than anything that you can envision. In fact, by US standard, it is 4 times the market that goes around it. In case of Amway Corporation, a privately held US manufacturer of cosmetic, soaps, vitamins, Japan represents a large market than that of USA, the homegrown country. Sales and profit. Foreign market constitute a very huge, large portion of the total business of many firms that have wisely cultivated markets abroad. The case of Coca-Cola clearly emphasizes the importance of overseas market. International sales, if I may say so, where is it all about it? For more than 80% of the firm's operating profit, in terms of operating margin, they are less than 15% of the home, but twice the amount of overseas. For every gallon of soda that Coca-Cola sells, it has approximately 37 cents in Japan, a marked difference from a mere 7 cents in USA. So that is what the sales and profits are all about it. Let me give you another example. The Japanese market contributes $350 million in operating income to Coca-Cola, vis-a-vis just 324 million in US market, making Japan the company's most profitable market, with consumption of Coca-Cola soft drinks averaging 296 8-ounce serving per person per year in USA. The US market is more or less saturated. Non-US consumption on the other way hand averages only 47 servings, offering much more greater potential and future growth. So it makes sense to make diversification. Demands for most product is affected by such cyclical factors as recession. Seasonal factors are climate. The unfortunate consequences of this variable is sales fluctuation, which can frequently be substantial enough to cause layoff of personnel. One way to diversify a company's risk is to consider foreign market as a solution to variable demand. Such market even out fluctuation by providing outlets for excesses. A cold weather, for instance, may depress soft drink consumption, yet not all countries can enter the winter season at the same time. Many countries are relatively warm all the year round. Last case for diversification, Bird USA Incorporations, a Nebraska manufacturer of go-karts, many cars for promotional purposes, has found the global selling altogether enable the companies to have a year-round production. A similar situation pertains to the business cycle. Europe business cycle often lags just behind that of USA. The domestic and foreign sales operating in different economic cycles favors General Motors and Ford, because overseas operations smoothen out business cycle of North America. Why in North America the business goes down, the Europe it takes away the lead. Similarly, when the Europe market goes down, the American market takes a lead. So it basically smooths out the operation for either of Ford or Motors. With this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video till the end.